Hi, my name's Kate Orson and I'm a hand-in-hand parenting instructor in Basel in Switzerland. And today I'd like to introduce one of the hand-in-hand parenting by connection listening tools of Staylistening. And I'll tell you a little story about how I came to discover what Staylistening is. So before I was pregnant, I was working as a babysitter for a 5-year-old boy. And the first few times I babysat him, he would have tantrums. Like, they would be about very small things, like suddenly he would start crying when we had to leave the house, or we wouldn't have the kind of snack he wanted and he'd have a tantrum about that. And I wasn't really sure how to handle them. Part of me felt like, oh, he's 5 years old, he shouldn't be having tantrums. This is far too old to have tantrums. And it was kind of like the only kind of judgment that a non-parent could make, like thinking I knew all about parenting, even though I'd never been a parent. Anyway, so it was sort of bugging me about the crying, though. I wondered what I should really do about it. So I went home and I Googled what to do about tantrums. And I found some solutions like ignore the child, give the child time out. And I read these and I thought, this just doesn't sound right to me. How can you give a child a timeout when they're just really expressing emotions? It's not really that nice. So I Googled a bit more, and then I came across the idea of just staying with the child and not sort of trying to fix the situation, not distracting them from their emotions, not really talking to them a lot, but just being there and just letting them know that you're there and that they can have a hug if they want one, and just really staying close until the storm has passed. And this was like a revelation to me, that I was like, oh, I don't actually have to do anything. I can just be there and let the child have a tantrum. And I think it was partly that in our society, we're not very comfortable with emotions. So I felt like there was something that I needed to do or fix to stop the expression of these emotions. And yeah, it was really interesting to learn that, oh, I don't actually have to learn how to deal with them other than just being there, being my natural, like, loving self and not feeling like I have to stop them or control them in some kind of way. And after this happened, I actually became pregnant, and I bought one of the books recommended on one of the sites about tantrums called The Aware Baby by Aleta Salter, and I started reading all this information about how crying is a healing process for children, how there are stress hormones in the tears, and that when a child experiences difficult things or stress or trauma, then this causes a build-up of stress hormones. And actually crying is a natural way to relieve stress and frustration and get all that upset out through crying. So in actual fact, when a child cries, rather than try and distract them or stop them as quickly as possible, it's best just to listen, and to be close to them and give them all the warmth and love that they need to let go of all that stress and upset and just return to their natural, joyful selves. And it's actually really important that we are able to listen to our children's cries so that this natural healing process can take place without interference. So I read all this in the book and I became pregnant myself. And one day I went back to babysit the boy. And this day he had the flu, so he wasn't able to go to school. And he was doing some technical Lego for age 7 and above. And from time to time he would need my help with the instructions because he was only 5 and he couldn't figure out what to do. And so I would help him whenever he needed help. And then at one stage we got to a step where I couldn't help him. I just didn't know what to do. I just couldn't think straight. And I just said, I'm sorry, I'm not sure what we do for this step. And then he started having a massive tantrum. So this is when I first put the idea of stay listening into practice, of just staying there and listening to him. And so I listened to him, and in the back of my mind, I was thinking, oh, maybe I should suggest we go and do something else, like watch a DVD or read a book. But I didn't say anything. I just sort of stayed with him and I just let him know that I was here. And after a few minutes, he stopped crying. He sat back down and he just fixed the Lego. He just figured out how to do it. And This is one of the things that we find when we listen to children. When they're upset, it really clears out their mind. So in that moment of emotional upset, they're not thinking straight, but crying works as a natural emotion regulation. So when he'd finished crying, he could think really clearly again, and much clearer than before, because suddenly the problem had a solution to him. And it was so amazing to watch him be able to fix himself. And in a way, it was a much better lesson for him to learn how to do it himself rather than me offer a solution. And this is how, like, listening to feelings can help our children to grow in confidence and figure things out for themselves, but they're not alone through that process. We are always there to stay and listen to them. So that's the parenting by connection tool that I've introduced today. We call it Stay Listening. When a child has an upset, we don't try and stop or distract them or fix the situation. We just listen until the storm passes. And then often, after that emotional upset, the solution might become clear. We might be able to work together to figure things out. It's just a matter of letting children have their emotions before we jump in and help them with whatever they need help with. Okay, so thanks for listening, and if you like this video, then please look below and you can follow my Facebook page and learn more about hand-in-hand parenting. Thanks very much. Bye.